What's going on, people? Welcome to the live match reaction. Burnley 0, Palace 2. And I'll be honest, when it was 1-0, I was going to come on here a bit more upset than I would at 2-0. But look, it was an interesting game. Let's just say that. We won 2-0, but there's a lot of talking points in the game. As always, it's not our show, it's your show as well. So make sure to call into the show by clicking on the pinned comment and support the channel by leaving a like. Takes a second of a time. Let's try to hit at least 100 likes in this show. We're about 15 away from 4,000 subscribers, so we're very close in that mark as well. But look, we'll be reading out your comments, getting your thoughts as usual. I'm joined by AJ here. AJ, look, before I get started, let me get your thoughts on the game. 2-0 win. When you look at it on paper, that's a solid win away from home. Well, how did you feel about the game?
Well, she was ugly. That's for sure. It was an ugly win, but you know what? I'm taking it. I don't care. I'll take the ugly wins all day, man. Put it this way, Burnley must be down bad because not only did we get a Jeffrey Schlupp goal, we got a Tyreek Mitchell goal. There's something wrong in the matrix for Burnley, man. I don't know, man. They must have upset the wrong god or something like that, man. Because that was definitely a game where first 10, 20 minutes, I thought they were gonna boss it. I thought they look good. Like I was very surprised that we were getting dominated by names I've never even heard of before. But you know what? We showed our quality when we needed to. We were clinical when we needed to. And you know, Premium Roy Ball is back. It was nice to see Eze back into the squad. He looked like he needed a minute or two, but then obviously he got the assist. So can I be mad? Not really. It was an ugly win. It's all I can describe. It was an ugly win. It's about as beautiful as the weather outside, man. It was about as beautiful as the weather outside. But you know what? I'm taking it all day. And you know what makes it worse? It flips the positivity around a little bit. It takes the pressure off a little bit.
It does, but it depends on how you view it. I'll be honest, I was watching that game for basically up until the 93rd minute. When we were 1-0 up, I wasn't too pleased. Even though we're winning, and I'm the type of guy that to always say just win by any cost, like win by any cost. I wasn't pleased because I mean I saw a graphic in the 75th minute, and we only had 3 touches in the box after 75 minutes. There's ugly wins, and then there's wins like that. This game, in a way, for me, it's more than just an ugly win. It's a bit more negative for me personally, because an ugly win is cool. You might not have that many shots on target, but you also limit their chances. In this game, let's be honest, if Burnley had better attackers, I don't think we'll be on here talking about ugly wins. We got exposed defensively so many times. They got through us. And that wasn't the case against Spurs, even in the first half against Spurs when it was 0-0. They barely had any chances. But from the first minute to the last minute, Burnley exposed the defense. And they got through too many times. The only difference in this game was that they didn't have the lack of quality in the box or in the final third to convert them chances into shots on target or goals. So for me, there are ugly wins, but today I'm not happy with a 2. It sounds crazy. I never thought I'll say this, but I'm not happy by watching that game 90 minutes because one, we against a side that's been struggling all season long, conceded 25 goals. We didn't have a proper attacking plan. It seemed like for the 9 minutes. I know we won, but it was a bit all over the place. I don't know what we was doing in attack. And 2, defensively, they got through so many times. It was just like, what on earth is going on? Like, what is going on? So I'm not going to lie here and say, all right, 2-0 win, I'm happy. No, I'm not. It raises more concerns going into the next game. I'll be honest, based on what I saw in this game. If we were solid, I know we kept the clean sheet, but if we limited their chances, then I'll say, all right, cool. It's one of them games. We still won 2-0, but they didn't have that many chances. But even when I read the stats, I mean, Burnley had, when you look at the game as overall, they had 17 shots in that game, 5 on target. We only had 4. Like, it was a case of quality. And that's my main concern because we will face sides with better quality. But that's how I see it.
Indeed.
But I know some people disagree.
Don't you find it?
And then there's this. This was not good. Well, it was a good win. I love it. 3 points. I'll take it. But it was a very, very bad. It was not a 2-0 type of performance. I'll say that. It was, the most anticlimax 2-0 performance I've seen in a long time. And I'm not going to sit here and say that I was happy with it. But go on, AJ, quickly. You wanted to say something.
No, I was just saying, don't you find it ironic and poetic that it's the 2 guys that signed their contract extensions that pretty much saved us today? Because on that exact point that you said, I'll tell you what, Sam Johnson saved our asses today. He saved us. Like, some of the saves he pulled off today were 10 out of 10. And once again, Jordan Ayew's workhorse work today and creativity saved us again. And you know what? You're right. We're going to have to buck up our ideas because with the fixtures coming up next, can't afford to be slacking and taking our foot off the gas because on another day of the week, we could have lost that game today. So I agree with you. I do. 100%.
Yeah. Tristan says you're being too critical. Stats mean nothing. It's not just the stats. I was watching by my eyes and seeing the game, and it was not a good game for Palace. It was not a good game. The stats prove my point. I don't think we were at the levels that we should be against a side that's been struggling all season long. It was not a good game. You can come on here and disagree. That's fine. I respect your opinion. As I always say, you can have different opinions to mine. It is what it is. Like this is the whole purpose. We come on here, have a chat. But I'm not happy with that game. Even though we won. The only good thing is for the 3 points. Other than that, the performance was not good enough for Palace with the players that we had out there. But look, I know there's a few people waiting behind the scenes, so we'll bring on the guests one by one. As always, make sure to smash the like button and subscribe. We're very close to 4,000 subscribers. Let's bring on Cody first as he joined first. Cody, 2-0 win. I'll be honest, I wasn't that pleased with the game. AJ is a bit more, happy with how things went. How did you see it?
I'll have to say, D, I agree with you 100. I feel like it's a win, but it doesn't feel like an actual win, if you get what I'm saying. I don't a lot of time performance. I mean, they're attack.
Cody, your connection is very jumpy. We can't understand what you're saying. I think it might be because you're outside. But we'll try to bring you back on because you're literally frozen right now, so we can't even see you as well. We'll try to bring on Cody, but Cody, in a few seconds, I did speak about the game. He did say that he agrees with me there, and I look, it'll be interesting to see what. I
found it quite funny that you picked up on that bit that he agreed with you, apart from everything else. That was the only bit you picked up on. Quite convenient.
What else did he say? What else did he say? He said, "I agree with me." Then he afterwards cut off. Let's see if Cody's back. Let's try again. Cody, can you hear us? Okay, we can see you better now.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Can you hear us? Yeah, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Go ahead.
Okay, I was saying is I agree with you 100%, D. It's the fact of I feel like Burnley outplayed us. Even though it's a win's a win, it just feels like they just did a better job than we did. Our defense was solid. But, I mean, compared to, however many shots they had on goal compared to our 4, I mean, we've got to get better at that in the long run because we're not going to be able to win matches with only 4 shots on goal.
Yeah. And I thought the same as well. For me, it's not really the shots on goal. Of course, that plays a part. They've been struggling defensively. It's more of a case of defensively. I mean, how many times did they get behind? But for you, what did you think about the defensive performance? And we're talking about defensive performance after clean sheet because the reason why I am is because I have high standards for these players. We've kept one of the most clean sheets in the Premier League so far this season. But today, the chances that we gave to them, especially out wide, I mean, Joe Ward had to be subbed off. We're talking about Roy Hodgson subbing off Joe Ward. That's how much of a mare I thought he had throughout the game. I mean, what did you think it was that they created and had that many shots? Maybe not on target, but they still managed to get in behind.
Well, I mean, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head there. I think a lot of it was, I mean, the youngster they had on the outside was just, I mean, he was just blowing by Joe Ward over half the game. I don't know. It's just like we couldn't keep possession at the midfield, and them kicking it outside and just letting them run rampant on the outsides was a lot of the problem. I will give credit though to Anderson and Gahey. They did play very well on the inside. Anderson was fantastic. Had a lot of blocked shots. Did really good defensively, but it seemed like when we brought Klein on, we had a better chance at stopping their attack on that left side.
Yeah,
I think it was just it came down to I think it just came down to Joe Ward just couldn't keep up with I can't remember his name, Okasho on that outside. And then when we threw Klein on, it got a lot better. It could be maybe we could have maybe went with Klein today as a starter, knowing the speed difference there. But I think that had a lot to do with it. Just Joe Ward just couldn't keep up.
Yeah, yeah. Cody, what did you think? Look, Schlupp, you got a goal today as well, which is fantastic. You got an assist. But
Oh my goodness.
today, I know you mentioned Joe Ward as well, but in attack, do you think it will naturally improve when the likes of Eze start games? Because I know he came off the bench today. Then he got an assist for the second goal, which was fantastic from Tyreek to get up the pitch late in the game and, Eze to find him. Is it a case of just waiting for at least Eze to be 100% fit? Then we will improve attacking wise. But for me, it's not even a case of the players. I think it's a case of just the attacking plans. I don't really see no cohesion up there. The first goal was fantastic. Jordan Ayew working hard, getting an assist, and Jeffrey Schlupp, nice finish at a far post. You have to give him credit for where it's due. It might seem like a simple finish, but for him to be there at that moment of time, I thought it was a great run to the far post. So credit to him there. But when I'm looking at the game overall, when I'm looking at what we try to do in attack, I don't really know.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to explain because, I mean, a lot of it, like I said, I mean, we didn't get a lot of possession to even go into attack, but teams are taking a lot of advantage of us because I feel like, I mean, the pressing is an issue. I was watching how they were pressing us when we were trying to get downfield, or even on the back line, I should say. And we kind of weren't doing the same thing. But toward the end of the game, when we had Amada on and we had a couple guys running, actually pressing, we got more opportunities, more steals to actually get down on goal and try to score.
Yeah. Looking ahead to the next game against Everton, look, they've been on form. They've been on form recently. They've been picking up wins and getting points here and there. It's not going to be easy, but do you think if we do have the likes of Eze now that's coming off the bench and Elisa potentially coming back into the side, that we could get another positive result?
Yeah, I do. I think if we get Eze in the starting lineup and maybe fingers crossed we can get Elise back. I think Everton, I'm not going to say it's going to be an easy game, but it will be a lot easier for us. But Everton, to their credit, I mean, their record doesn't show who they really are, in my opinion. I think they're a lot better team than what their record shows. So it could be a pretty good game considering, I know they've got their financial problems and everything going on over there and, what the board has going on with them. But I mean, I think it's going to be a good game. But if we do get Eze and Elise back, I think it's going to give us a lot better shot in that game.
Yeah. Look, Cody, thank you for coming on. Always a pleasure talking to you. And hopefully we'll come on here after the Everton game with another 3 points as well. Take care, Cody.
Cheers, Cody.
That's Cody having to say you can join us live as well by clicking on the pinned comment. And quickly, before bring on I know there's a lot of guests waiting behind the scenes. AJ, let's quickly answer this question or statement from McDuff saying, was the substitution of Decore tactical or due to an injury? It worked though. What did you make of that sub? I was very surprised, I'll be honest.
Good point.
I would have thought maybe Will Hughes would go off. Then afterwards, I'll be honest, I had a thought about it. Like after 10-15 minutes, just keep thinking about it. I was like, maybe it might be due to yellow cards that he's picked up. Is he like?
No, I think in the twisted when it happened at the time. I tell you, I was definitely ripping what little hair I got left on the top of my head. To be fair, I was very surprised. I'm not sure. I mean, obviously it paid off, but I think it's definitely some sort of weird tactical because he wasn't pulling up, he wasn't limping, he didn't look out of shape, he didn't particularly have anything in that side of things anyway. So I think it was some sort of tactical decision by management, to be honest. I think that's what it is. That's all I can put on. I didn't see anything, or there was no indication that there was a concern there. At the time, I wasn't happy about it. I wanted to see a preference of maybe Hughes coming off. But Hughes is a workhorse, so I'm not too fussed about it. And at the end, we got a result. If we didn't, I probably would have been pointing fingers in that direction. But I don't think there was anything particularly wrong with Decore, and I don't think there's anything in terms of pending suspensions. So I think he just went with the flow and just changed it up tactically.
Yeah. I thought Decore is having a solid game as well. And I quickly want to answer this question before we go into the next question, because I think it is a very good question from Twisted, who said, Burnley were at home. What did you expect? So let's look at Burnley's games, recently. So before our game, they played Everton, our next opponents. They only had 3 shots, 1 on target in 90 minutes. Kept a lot of the possession, but Everton had 14 shots, 5 on target. So our next opponents beat Burnley 3-0. So they were, clearly way better attacking, and also defensively, they didn't allow them to create chances. Bournemouth, who's in a relegation zone, they had 13 shots, 6 on target. Of course, Burnley kept more of the possession, but they only had 6 shots in 90 minutes and only 3 on target. So Bournemouth, they lost to Bournemouth, and Bournemouth once again were very solid in terms of even by stats base. Brentford, 23 shots, 10 on target. Burnley had only 6 shots, 1 on target. So once again, the opponents dominated them there as well. And then if you go to Burnley versus Chelsea as well, then again, that was way tighter, even though Chelsea won. That was 10 shots for Burnley, 9. But my point is, what did I expect from this game? Is I expected Palace to be a bit more comfortable than I was throughout the 90 minutes of the game. I thought Burnley, yes, they controlled possession, but on top of the possession, they created and had way more shots than I expected from this Palace side, especially how good we've been defensively. So that was my main worry, and is my main worry going into the next game, because I don't think it was a good performance from Palace as well. Let's bring on Patrick. Patrick, you love Roy. Thanks for coming on the show. So, of course, you're going to give us praises. What did you make of the 2-0 win, Patrick?
Thought it was wasn't a Roy classic, but it was ugly. It was ugly. Another team beats us. I think the effort was there. We just played bad, but we won, and that's what matters. Forget it. It happened. We move forward. Now, if they play like that again.
Hang on, just literally on what you said. Are you sure, based on the game and the way it played out, the possession and everything like that, are you sure that wasn't a Roy classic?
Well,
that sounds like Roy to me.
Yeah, actually, I'm contradicting myself, because I was on X or Twitter or whatever the hell they're calling it now, telling D not to panic all day because I predicted that 2-0 win. So it was ugly. It was ugly, to say the least. I wanted to get on the Decore substitution. I don't think Decore played a solid game, but every time the ball would get to his feet, it's getting taken off him, or it's a bad pass. It's been a common theme when he's played all year. I think that was just more. He put Hamada in. He put Eze in. I think he was just trying to get the ball. Problem is, Burnley we couldn't touch it, and I think we need to look at that whole midfield again, because I think there's some guys that are just a little too comfortable, and maybe Roy thought that. I don't know, because it just seems like on paper, Eze, Decore, and Lerma should be a really good midfield against a team like Burnley, and they pass through, around, and over us all day. And I think that needs to be relooked at. Another thing too. I'm not going to complain about Joe Ward. No one should. He's 34, right? He just turned 34. He couldn't. I mean, what do you expect? I think they got to take him out of the firing line, because he was burned all day, and there's no sense in complaining about it, because he's 34 and he never had a bunch of pace to begin with. So what do you expect when you're going up against a 19-year-old? I think where Burnley screwed themselves when they took that 19-year-old out of the game. I got
a bit of a caveat to that. Patrick.
Yeah.
The problem is, right, with most defenders, especially at the elite level, when you get to a certain age, you adjust your game. So if you look at the best players of the higher age groups are your Thiago Silvas. You know what? I'd even throw a Gary Neville into that, your John Terrys, those kind of players. They learn to adjust their game. So they might take a couple steps back from a certain player, or they might go goal side of an attacker or stuff like that. I feel like when I'm watching Joe Ward in certain games, not all games, but in certain games, he looks like a kid that's still learning, or he looks like somebody that's almost not anticipating the pace. When you become a more mature, experienced player, and let's be honest, the man has got a great amount of experience, and this is not me digging him out as such, but you learn to adapt your game as you become older, and you learn how your body works a lot better, and you learn what you can and can't do. And I just feel that Joe Ward hasn't always adjusted his game to suit the narrative of who we're playing on the day.
I want to actually piggyback on that. A good example of that would be Danny Carvajal. He's injured all the time, and he lost his pace. He's adjusted to where, and I go back to the Champions League final performance against Liverpool. Diaz on paper should beat him up and down the pitch. He was so physical to him. And I always thought in the last 10 games last year, Ward was getting, he would get beat every once in a while, but he would physically beat you up. And I think he's so afraid of, if he misses a tackle, if he doesn't get to the body, he's going to get exposed. But the problem today was he was so far back, he was getting exposed even with the room he was given. And he's got this bad habit this year of letting people go to their whatever foot they are, right-footed, left-footed. He's not shading them the other way. That just makes Anderson and Gahey have to work harder. Well, depending on who's on that side. So I absolutely agree with your point. So maybe I'm giving him too much of an excuse. But the bottom line is we shouldn't have a 34-year-old starting right back in the Premier League. I mean,
don't get these started because you might just set up a bomb there, man. You know what I mean? So,
but I think my biggest concern, though, for me right now is not even the upfront players. I just think the midfield. I don't know if it's a case of Eze being out or Decore and Lerma were out an extended period of time. But even when they were playing together, you would a couple games it was good, but it just the passing, something's off there. So I don't know if it's comfortability. I don't know if just Roy's coaching a certain way. Can't quite figure that out. But hey, I'll take the win. I mean, it's not I'm not happy how they got it, but they got it. And then maybe it was more of a Roy classic than I thought. I just thought we should have played them off the park, truthfully. They're not a good team. And yes, somebody just said Tim Patrick with Roy glasses again. Yeah, every time they win, of course. I don't know if you saw the comment Tim just put up. Well, of course you did. You put it up. But anyway. All right, guys, I'm rambling. So that means I don't have any other points. The game next week, Everton. That's at home or at Everton?
It's at home.
It's at home,
well,
yeah.
I think they need to come out and boss that midfield because Decore is no joke. That might be the best Everton player, but he's playing pretty good. It's going to be a tough one because just as any Sean Dice team is tough to play. But I hope fans get behind the team, and we definitely shouldn't lose.
Yeah. So that's the thing. If we want to be serious, we have to win games like Burnley, and we've done. We did the job today, but. My concern, Patrick, was, or it is right now, is if we play like that against Everton and the way that they've been playing, we don't want to give them the confidence as well. We need to improve and make sure these teams don't create the chance in the first place, because I think that's been our main strong point defensively so far this season. So next game against Everton, if we want to be a serious club this season, we have to go and beat them at home. It's simple as that. We got a job done today. Next game we have to get it done.
Did Everton win today?
I think they drew against Brighton 1-0.
Yeah, really? Brighton pulled back a equalizer.
Yeah. Wow, Brighton.
They're winning. They're winning for a large portion of the game. So we'll see what happens. But look, Patrick, thank you for coming on. Really appreciate your time.
Take care, guys.
Yeah,
see you next week.
Okay, if you want to call into the show, make sure to hit the like button as well, people. But click on the pinned comment to join us live via a video call. Chris saying Klein came on and was worse. Eagle Eyed saying Joe Ward had a mare. And we'll discuss Joe Ward now. And then he says Joe Ward still posts good defensive stats, but his lack of pace is an issue, especially with Richards always on the bench. And AJ, you did say it when Patrick was on. Like, don't get me started because
we ain't got all night, ladies.
There's no point. I even get bored talking about it, but
might as well scream at the wall, bro. It's long. It's long. And can I just actually, while we're on the point, right? Can I just bring something up? Right? I just want to bring something up, and this is just my personal opinion. Yeah, I hear a lot of people claim that Chris Richards is the natural right back in the team. For me, he's not. He is capable of playing there. He can play there in an emergency, but that is not his trade as a footballer. He has played there for us before. It has not worked out for him. We need to let that one go, because I don't think that one's flying for a minute. I just think, we tried it a couple of games last season. He's a brilliant defender. I'm not going to get into, that kind of debate. And I know he's pacey and he can run. So a lot of people think he can do the whole fullback switch thing. Listen, let it go. Let it die. Because the more you keep painting yourself, you're just going to give yourself something else to be frustrated about. Chris Richards is a brilliant defender, but he's not a right back Premier League standard wise. He's not.
Okay. Hold up. We can't just let it go because Joe Ward.
All right.
How many teams does Joe Ward get into?
How many? Sorry, D, I didn't hear that bit. How many
teams would Joe Ward get into in the Premier League?
How many teams would Chris Richards get in as a right back in the Premier League?
I think he gets into one side, and that's Crystal Palace ahead of Joe Ward. What does Joe Ward do that
Chris Richards can't do? Do you know what? He did it last season for a couple of games, and those games didn't go well. For me,
He's not the
I would
answer to
rather
it.
I would rather go and get an actual person that plays right back, but trade,
No.
not just a filler.
No, 100%. I agree with you there because I don't think Chris
But
Richards
do you know,
should be our perfect right
on
back.
that point, yeah, listen, let's not take this out of context. On that point, I'm not sitting there going, Joe Ward is better than Chris Richards. What I don't want to do is, why are we playing Joe Ward and Klein when Richards is right there? That is the narrative I'm not really feeling. You see what I'm saying? It's
Yeah,
not
but then
a
but
Chris
then
Richards
again,
is better than Joe Ward conversation. It's Chris Richards should be the starting right back conversation. I don't think any of them man should be playing right back for Crystal Palace in 2023. I don't. I think we should be.
If Joe Ward is this bad, AJ, can't you have the debate that Chris Richards, who has played right back before, no, he's not a right back. I think we can all agree there because he's not built for right back. A right back in the modern day has to be good attacking as well as defensively, and I don't think he's got an attacking element of his game under his belt. But one thing that Chris Richards does have is his defensive element. He's fast, he's strong, he can defend. And today, if he was starting at right back, I think he would have had a better game than Joe Ward due to all the attributes that he has and what Joe Ward struggled with, which was with
Probably.
pace. So
I agree with
think
that bit.
have that debate in the short term with Chris Richards. No, I don't think it should be a 2 to 3 year thing with Richards playing right back because I don't think he is a right back. But in the short term, I think it's a healthy discussion to have because the alternative to Joe Ward is Nathaniel Klein, who's not great either. So Chris Richards, I think, could play ahead of both of them. I don't think it's a crazy thing. I
just think we just need to let go of that narrative a little bit because I feel like it's just going to be something that's just going to add to the frustration and the fan base.
Trying to find solutions in the short term.
Then go listen, bro. How many?
Why not?
Like I said, right? This is why I didn't want to get you started on the right back conversation, because we could be sitting there debating what the solution is all day, but brother, let's be honest, it ain't happening, innit? So we got to kind of work with what we got, and what we got ain't going to be Chris Richards playing at right back.
All right, let us know what you think in the
Go
comments
shoot the messenger.
Would you want to see Richards at right back? People, it's up to you. Let us know. For me, I wouldn't mind it because I don't think it could get any worse than what we have right now. I said it at the start of the season, and I think this will go on throughout the whole of the season, whether it's Nathaniel Klein or Joe Ward. That right-hand side that we have, it will be a target. It will be a target. And I would, if I was a manager, I would do the same thing. It's not rocket science to find out that is our weakness, but that's how it is. Let's bring on Henry, the next guest of the evening. Henry, 2-0 win. Talking about Richards and Joe Ward and lots of other stuff. But what did you make of the win? Was you happy with the result, of course, but with the performance?
I'm delighted with the result. I think it was a really scrappy. It reminds me of the old Roy times when we just play pretty much like really, really gritty performances, but just somehow get those wins. I think it's fair to say that if we'd have played a higher caliber of opposition, we probably wouldn't have won today. I think it's concerning that the way that Burnley sort of played through our midfield a bit too easily at times, and I think you can clearly see why Burnley is struggling so much because they create chances but they can't score them, and they're also leaky in defence. So you combine those two and you get a recipe for disaster, and ultimately I think they're as good as down. I really do. I really can't see a way that they survive. But I mean, today, I know people. You've been saying about it wasn't the best performance, and I understand. I agree it wasn't the best performance at all. But I just think that sometimes you have to come to these places like Burnley, and you just by hook or by crook you just got to get a result, and we did that today. And I'm just glad for the result. I mean, obviously, we're going to have to play a lot better against Everton because they're on a resurgent run of form as well, and they nearly beat Brighton today. But I just think that, I think there's. I mean, did Franco come on today? I can't remember.
Nope, he didn't come on. Unused sub.
He didn't. I think Franco would have been a good. Yeah. A good player to bring on. I was a bit disappointed.
Actually, no, Henry, I agree with you on that. I'll tell you what, while you're here, actually, I've got two questions. The first one, what did you make of Eze when he came on today? What did you think? You look, what was your opinion on Eze's performance coming off the bench today?
You know what? I thought Ebbs did all right. I mean, I think you got to judge it based on, a realistic point of view, which is that he's obviously been sidelined by a severe injury again. I was actually surprised that he was on the bench today. I didn't expect that. So I mean, I thought he did okay. I mean, he wasn't amazing, but you can't expect him to reach the same standards in his first game back. I think against Everton, we might see a bit more of him. We might see a bit more of the creative side of him against Everton. But no, I think it's today was just about the result for me. I mean, you can't, sometimes you just have to get those ugly wins, and thankfully we managed to do that. And I actually predicted Schlupp to score as well, which is pretty genius move from me.
Well, he does love to score against Burnley.
Yeah.
So there is that, and he managed to get the goal
Exactly.
today. But about his performance, what did you make of it apart from the goal?
Probably standard, really. Like, I mean, I don't think it was anything. What did you guys think? Did you think it was anything particularly impressive from Schlupp today, apart from the goal?
I
D,
don't know
you
what you
first,
thought.
mate.
I don't think he had a bad game. I thought he had a relatively solid game, but I don't
Yeah.
think anyone was that brilliant in our attacking
Yeah.
line. I mean, you look at the stats
Yeah.
as well. We didn't have that many shots, even on target. I think there was a creativity problem. But you have to give him credit for the goal, not just because he scored a goal, but we've seen it numerous times where the ball's played to the far post and the attacker just doesn't make the right run in behind,
Exactly.
and then it's a missed opportunity. And he made a run. Far post. Jordan Ayew won the ball. Fantastic from both of them for the goal. 100%. Not is an easy finish, but he could have easily not made that run in to the far post.
He was in the right
place
at the right time. He was in the right place at the right time. And the
Yeah.
thing is about Schlupp is that I swear to God, it's like he's one of these players where he will go missing for ages and ages and ages, and then he'll pop up in a game like Burnley today and score a goal, and you'll be like, oh yeah, that's why we have him.
I wouldn't go that far though. Personally, me, anyways, I wouldn't go that far to say after today's game to say, oh, that's why we have him. I don't think he had that type. We have because he can score that odd goal, but for me, if you look at Schlupp's time so far this season and what he's done, I still don't think he's had a great season overall. It's been very poor, and he could have easily been on the bench for loads of games. But Roy's giving him the favour. Maybe Roy can see it like that. I mean, look here he is. He scored a goal.
He
but
obviously
for me, I don't
does
think
something.
he's that great.
I think he brings something to the team.
I think he's a utility guy, and he's a utility man. I think, in all fairness, where we have to be fair to him is that whenever we have needed him over the years, he has been very, very reliable in that side of things. In terms of the output and what he puts us on the pitch for 90 minutes is a very different outcome, but there's not many players that you get in many teams nowadays that can do that utility and pretty much play everywhere and be available week in, week out. So, I mean,
utility player, AJ. I think you describe him perfectly there, and I think I've always said this. I think he has a future at Palace. I don't think he's a terrible player, but where you get the best out of Schlupp is not for 90 minutes. You get the best out of him coming off the bench, where players might get fatigued and he can have that energy and come onto the pitch to try to create something. But for me, I don't think he should be a Premier League starter for 90 minutes because I don't think for where we want to be and where we want to head towards, I don't think, I think we can move on from that. But I do think he has a role on the bench, and that's where, a few other players, you can make the argument, for example, when this is going to be interesting, but when Elise comes back, Ayew this season has been fantastic. I wonder what happens with that. Probably Ayew goes down the left-hand side, so it's a bit easier there. But you can always have that debate. For example, Edouard, he scored goals. He can score goals here and there, but can you make that? Can we make an improvement? We probably can with Mateta as well. So yeah, look, Schlupp, very solid game today, scored a goal. But Henry, just quickly looking into the next game against Everton, they've been decent recently. They've been slowly picking up points, and I think they're only 2 points behind us, which is interesting. It is another game that, do you think that we have to go out there and win, or would you be fine with how they're playing and maybe getting a point at home?
I think we need to try and win it. I think I wouldn't be. I mean, I would be okay with a draw, but I think it's a game being at home that we should go and attack and go for the win. But I do think that against Everton, we're going to have to lock down on that midfield a lot stronger, because I think players like I was listening to what Patrick was saying, and I was kind of agreeing with him as well that about what he said about Doucouré. You know, Doucouré he's no joke. You can't if you give him time and if you don't, you know, if you don't control that midfield, he'll cause you problems. I do think that we just it would just do us the world of good to beat Everton. You know,
Yeah,
2 wins on the bounce.
Yeah, we need to.
You know, I think that would really be a big boost for the confidence, and hopefully we get the job done as well because it's my birthday the next day, so that would be nice. But yeah,
Oh my.
Yeah.
Happy birthday in advance, mate. Happy birthday in advance.
Oh, cheers, mate. Yeah, no, but you know, I'm happy. I mean, I'm not overjoyed by the performance, but you know, it is what it is. We got the win. You can't play well every week. I thought we had a really uncharacteristically good first half against Tottenham last week. I mean, so yeah, I think we were actually controlling that game pretty well up until they scored. But anyway, I'm rambling. But yeah.
No. Before you go, Henry, your second thing that was on my mind. I've noticed you have a little bit of a shave there, mate. So what we doing? No, Movember or something, or coincidence? What's going on?
Just a coincidence, really. I just fancied a bit of a freshen up, to be honest. I did it
Fair play.
Got a haircut as well, you know.
Sometimes hopefully we can.
You know what? I thought if I get a haircut and a shave, maybe that'll, you know, make Palace win, and you know, so you can.
We
did. It paid off. What can I say?
Exactly. So the win's on you. The win's on you.
I predicted us to win 2-0. That's the last thing I'll say as well. So
shout out to Henry's barber.
Exactly. Shout out to Henry's barber for saving us today. All right then, Henry. Take care.
Guys.
Thanks for coming on, bro. Take care. Okay. All right then. We'll go through some of the comments and then we'll add a few more people on. I know there's people waiting as well. If you want to join us live, by the way, you can call into the show by clicking on the pinned comment right now to join us. Let's see what the comment section is saying. Also, let's try to get 100 likes. We're closing in. I think we're on 68 now, so we're doing very well today.
Let's go, people. Like.
Time helps the algorithm. You already know the drill. That's how it is. Get Henry's barber on retainer, says Tim. We're saying, I think we'll smash Everton next week. They're not a good side. Their way form is shocking. Yeah, I think next week. Hey, look.
But the last couple of games, though, we'll get into them anyway.
Yeah, we'll get into
it. Last couple of games, they've been doing bits. They've been looking comfortable recently.
Yeah, we'll do the previews, of course, for Everton, but we're sitting 10th right now.
Let's go.
That's crazy, but we're only, as it stands, Newcastle are playing, so if they win, that will change. But we're only 3 points off 6th, and if we beat Everton, it gives you that confidence. And the key thing is, we'll most likely have Elise back as well for that game, which. Well, hopefully, anyways, and slowly when we get these players back, and if we start beating the likes of Everton, Burnley's, and start picking up points, that momentum will carry us. So that's why I think these games are significant to win, regardless of how we play. I'm just being highly critical today because of the standards that I hold with this side, especially defensively, because the defense have been very solid. We did keep a clean sheet today, but the amount of chances that they had, I was not happy with it personally. But look, let's bring on the next guest of the evening, which is going to be Dan, who's been waiting for a while. Oh, Dan's not actually here. So next up, bring on Drew. Drew, how you doing? Welcome onto the stream. Palace 0, Burnley. Burnley 0, Palace 2. I'm going to go the other way around. Great win for us, Drew. Well, I thought in terms of result, but what did you make of the whole performance and the occasion?
I mean, obviously, you want them to play a more attractive brand of football, but, you know, a win's a win, and that's always good. The thing I'm a little worried about is going into next summer, our defense, I feel like we rely super heavily on Anderson and Gahey, and those guys are going to be prime targets for top 6 clubs, I feel like, over the summer. And I like having Richards as a backup, but we cannot have Richards and Holding as our center back pairing to go into next season. And we already need a new striker and right back. So I'm a little worried about the players leaving. But as for the game today, I was really impressed when Ahamada came on. That driving run he made through the midfield, I forgot what minute it was. That was super impressive. Like, those are the type of runs I feel like Schlupp used to make more, where he uses his pace just to get by, not necessarily his like dribbling skills like Eze or Elise. So that was encouraging. But I'd also like to see Franca maybe come on for Schlupp instead of Hamada in that situation. But overall, I was pretty happy with it. Always love to see Chris Richards as an American.
Yeah. He came on and he looked solid today. But about Hamada, look, we haven't really spoke about him as much since the season started, but he had an excellent preseason and he hasn't had that many opportunities. Do you think that he could be getting the nod more often than Franca in the coming weeks? Because today Roy could have made a decision to bring on Franca instead of Schlupp. He can definitely play out wide. He has played it before, but Hamada was selected ahead of him. So do you think Hamada, we will see more of him now? Because I know he's had a few injuries as well. And would you like to see more?
Yeah, honestly, any youth playing I like. But I think part of it is I think he's more defensively sound than Franca, which I really think Franca is only going to get like playing time in cups and stuff like that just because of Roy's style of playing right now. I feel like Hamada would fit better into a Schlupp replacement, more defensively sound. So I could definitely see him getting more playing time in the future.
Yeah, I think Hamada. Well, I was surprised anyway since see him not get as many opportunities so far this season. But yeah, even today defensively, there was a moment where he tracked back and he managed to win the free kick in our own box and disrupted the Burnley attack. There was going to be basically near enough a free header or close to a free header, and he just tracked back and made sure that didn't happen, which was very good. But look, 2-0 win away from home against Burnley. There's been a lot of debate here, anyways, about the performance versus the result. What did you make of it all today in terms of the performance?
I mean, like I said, they seemed defensively pretty sound. I know they gave up a decent amount of chances, but there were really only two that I was really afraid of once the shot went off. Like I feel like a lot of Burnley's chances were like outside the box shots or tough shots that didn't really have a chance of ever going in, except for the one that slid right past the far post. Forgot in the second half. But I didn't think the performance was very good, and I just think that's due to like squad selection. They're just not strong enough yet. I feel like next week with Everton, I feel pretty confident with Elise coming back. He's been out for so long. I just have a feeling he's gonna really open up. I think he'll open up IU because right now he's our most creative player, and he's not supposed to be that. So he can like fully focus on his defensive work rate and getting Elise and Eze involved, and I think that'll be huge for our attack going forward. But today I think it was pretty weak. Just individual performance from IU right at that time got what we needed, and we were able to sit back. So performance wasn't good, but as everyone's saying, you got to take the win when you can take the win, but they got to be better against Everton, like everyone else has been saying.
Yeah.
Quick one, Drew. Who was your man of the match today?
I would give it to IU just because if it weren't for him, there's no goal at all. And then also, I really see him being like a team leader, that veteran presence that like still gets a lot of playing time. Like I feel like he's not the same position, but he can kind of have the same role MacArthur had the last couple of years. Really take those young guys under his wing, show them that defensive work rate and stuff like that is the way to get into the squad and not just using skills. So I would give it to him, but I could definitely see Schlupp or Anderson as well.
Cool.
Yeah. Look, today we got a clean sheet, and hopefully we, focus on a clean sheet against Everton as well, and at home, make sure it's uncomfortable for them. Today was away from home. We got the win, but we have to try to keep this momentum now. We have to build a momentum, anyways, after the disappointing defeats against Spurs and also Newcastle, which I guess were expected after the start that they've had to the start, to the season. Both sides at the top of the table, competing near the top of the table. But look, Drew, thank you for coming on. Hope we'll catch up with you again soon.
Thank you very much.
Drew.
Take care. That was Drew having his say on the game. If you want to join us, as always, people, click on the pinned comment, smash the like button as well. Let's try to get to at least 100 likes. Let's bring on the next guest of the evening, Dan. Hopefully he is there.
Hello, mate. You all right?
Yeah. I'm good. How are you?
I'm super smashing great, as the age old boogie would go. Yeah,
What did you make of the win then?
mate, it is what it is, isn't it? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, yeah, right. We as I said against Sheffield United, yeah, we went there, we done the job, we took it, we took the win. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you got to respect the win, and you know, all right, we played well in patches, but you know, it's a bang average, it's a bang average performance, and you know, fortunately enough, we walked away with the 3 points.
Yeah. Why do you think it was a bang average performance? What was lacking today from Palace?
Well, we hadn't you know what I mean we come into the game with based on poor performances against Newcastle and Spurs, you know, so you know, and we missed Eze so much, and you know, but I was always confident that today, you know, we turn into a good run of fixtures now. You know, we shouldn't really be beaten in our next 5 or 6 fixtures. If I'm being brutally honest, with Eze and Elise back as well, you know, this is now the time for us to go, right, hold on a minute, here we go, let's crack on and go on. You know, we've never been the team to score that many goals, but we've never been the team to concede that many either. You know, so we're stepping on the basis. All right, this season's been okay still. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you need to sweep teams like Burnley aside, and that's what we've done today. That's the thing that impressed me much. That we just swept them aside without being stressed ourselves.
Yeah, and look, we got a job done today as well, and it was good to see Eze come back on the pitch and get an assist as well.
It was absolutely good, absolutely brilliant for the boy. I got him in my fantasy team as well. So, you know what I mean? Like it's bonus. It's a bonus for me. You know, at the end of the day, as I said to you, I think I come on to the commentary against against Nottingham Forest when we just looked dull. And I said to you, if we had Eze or Elise back playing against them, then no way on earth would we have like drew that game 0-0. It would have been 3 or 4-0.
Sorry, Dan. Based on what you were saying before, obviously you were saying about the dire performances, and then obviously today wasn't particularly a great performance, but obviously we had Eze come back into the fold and stuff like that, and obviously Elise is due to come back in. Do you now think that we're in a position where we can start picking up a bit of momentum and obviously making sure that the pendulum's swinging more in our favour now?
Hell yes. As I said to you, like I don't see us getting beaten in the next 4 or 5 fixtures. Like who we got to come? We got Everton, we got Luton. I can't remember the whole entire of them.
We got West Ham, we got Bournemouth.
Yeah, West Ham and Bournemouth. I can't see us getting beaten against any of them. If I'm being brutally honest, I can't. I can't see us getting beaten against any of them. A lot of people may disagree with me, but with Eze and Elise back, Elise back now, that brings back a new dimension. Yeah, right. I always wanted to see it. Yeah, Doucouré, Lerma, Eze, Elise, Ayew, all França. Yeah, that's what I wanted to see. That's what I really want to see, and that's going to set fireworks alight for this next. I'm super confident. I'm absolutely confident that we're not really going to drop many points in the next 5 games.
Yeah, well, we should. Well, to be fair, if we want to have a good season and an exciting season, then in these run of games, we should be picking up these wins. I think these next, you know, now we've hit the 10 game mark, and well, more than 10 games now. But we can see whereabouts we are. Like we have got some limitations, but maybe that was due to injuries. We're sitting 10th after 11 games. We're only 3 points off 6th. But we're also not that far off 14th, for example. It could only be 1 defeat. So if we want to have a nice run, a nice momentum going, then yes, Burnley job done. Against Everton, we have to go out there once again. And we're hoping with Elise added to the side, maybe Eze starting, and get another win. And things will look much better as we take a game at a time. I don't like to focus all the way down the line about West Ham and Bournemouth right now. for me, my focus is on Everton. We need to go and beat them at home as well. We're not even playing away from home in order to get a win. But today, Decore, he got subbed off, but Richards came on as well. What do you make about the subs coming on today? Roy was very upset. He apologized afterwards. Last time around when the subs came on the pitch, I doubt he'll be doing that today. I thought they were all solid and contribute defensively anyways to the winners, with Eze getting an assist as well as an attack. So there, Dan? I think we've lost Dan. Yeah, lost Dan. All right, let's bring on the next guest. People, and that will be Tim. Tim, how you doing?
Doing great, man. What's going on? What's going on?
Not much.
I'm happy to see you, man. I'm happy to see you, man.
Win, of course. Game at time. What did you make of it, Tim?
So this is what I think. I think we need to. Well, we don't need to. This is how I think about it. When you have a subpar performance and you do what you need to do to win, that is worth celebrating. That is absolutely worth celebrating, because we didn't, I agree with you, D, did not play up to standard, right? I fully agree. I'm not going to argue that, but you are going to have bad games and games that you should win. Games that you should win, and you're going to not put in the best performance. When you find a way to win those games, celebrate that, because those happen during the season. And that's how I think about this game today, because it wasn't good enough. And I think the issue, you're gonna have to remind me, AJ, if I read this wrong, but I'm pretty sure in the match preview you were calling out Koleosho, and he did. He was. I mean, they were targeting Wardy the whole game. And of course, I mean, we all know that Wardy has a target on his back. So that was going to come. We knew it. And he didn't have his best game, but he didn't have his worst game either. I think where it seemed to break down for me is in the midfield, because we end up giving the ball away too cheaply. Maybe Patrick, or I'm not sure who said it, but there were a few cheap giveaways in that midfield. And that's when they started in. And then they come in and get into the wide areas and went absolutely nowhere. They didn't have a lot of shots that were inside the box, one-on-one with the goalkeeper. There were a few of them, and they came late, usually off headers on set pieces. And there were a couple of pretty brilliant saves that Johnston made. But yeah, it wasn't great. I didn't think it was great. It was ugly. But when you get ugly wins in a season where you need them, because you always need them, you've got to get ugly wins. I celebrate that. I love it. Yeah. I want us to do better next week, but I still love it.
Yeah, of course, you can't be disappointed with a win. I always say win by any cost, literally. And today we managed to get the job done. For me, it was a case of just watching it. In the second half, I was like, well, in the 75th minute, I was thinking, did we have a shot on target in the whole half? Or did we even have a shot? It felt like we were just defending like we were playing Man City.
Had 2 shots on target in the first half.
Yeah, in the second half. Well, up until the goal anyways. We only had one shot for like 25, 30 minutes. And we were playing Burnley, like against the side that's considered 25 goals in 10 games. You're not going to
get an argument from me, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
so
we're blunt up front.
You have ugly wins, but you also look at the opponents and you have to think, now what on earth is going on? Not just today's opponents, but when you look at the amount of goals that we've scored recently and how much we've been struggling in attack, you can make the answer to that towards maybe Eze and Elise. But for me today, it's not just a case of Eze and Elise. I was looking and thinking, what is our attacking patterns? Like, what are we trying to do in attack? Because we look so clueless. It's like a bunch of individuals that are trying to get the ball and create something. But I don't know what we was doing in attack. Sometimes we'll hoof it.
Can I give you a thought about what we were trying to do that was terrible? Yeah, I think we were trying to, Drew was, or I'm not sure who said this, but we're trying to get Eddie to go up and do something. And he just ran in, and he was not good today. I'll give you a hot take. I thought he was worse than Ward. I thought Eddie was worse than Ward. And Ward had a bad game. He got subbed off.
Did he have the service, though?
I mean,
Well,
to be fair, he did better tackling today than Ward. I mean, he even took out the goalkeeper. It was brilliant. So I don't know, man. I don't know.
nice.
But yeah, I mean, the thing with the service thing, right, goes back to the narrative of the past. I mean, specifically more of the last game beforehand where we're not pressing. It's not. I'm still going to stick with this narrative. Running at goalkeepers and pressing from the front is not Edouard's thing. And in a game where it was there for the taking, and if he maybe have done that a couple of times, you don't know how that game could have played out, and you don't know how many opportunities could have fell on his lap that way.
Yeah.
At the same time, I think it's hard to turn around and say he doesn't get the service because we were able to create 2 goals out of a good build-up in play in terms of what we got in our 2 goals today. So, I don't know, man. Maybe he's just had a couple off weeks, and when the creative players come into the team, maybe we might see a little bit more out of him because at the beginning of the season, he looked brilliant. So, I don't know if it's maybe just a combination of a few things.
To your point, though, AJ, he does need we need to put the ball on his foot. He needs Tyreek Mitchell driving down the left side and delivering across, and he can just barrel in and because that's when he gets his goals. So it is a service problem. I'm not going to argue that it isn't, but he also, playing the way we play and don't have really, I mean, we didn't have any creative players on the pitch other than Jordan Ayew, really. So yeah, it was blunt. It was clearly blunt.
Yeah, look, I with Eddie, I think when you put Elise and Eze back into the side, I think that's where you'll see the best out of Eddie, because I think them players will be able to give him better service. And not just about service. I mean, Eddie's best games have come so far this season where he has scored goals, but most importantly, where the link-up play was fantastic. And
yes,
more time that was happening with Eze right behind him. And he hasn't had that for a few games. So if you put Eze behind him once again, and he can offer more than just score goals, then I think Edouard would think Edouard is doing a bit more than he's doing right now. Right now, he's not getting service, and he hasn't got anyone to basically bounce off. And he's done that, and he's done that before. For example, with Eze, but with Hughes, I don't think that's been the case. I think with Hughes, he hasn't had that chemistry that he's had with Eze, so his link-up play hasn't been as good so far in this run, anyways. But Tim, when you're looking at the next game against Everton, once Elise comes back into the side,
I hope
you think that we will reach the levels that we should be in attack, because today I just don't think we had enough in attack, and it just invited pressure onto us.
I don't know that we invited all the pressure onto us. Yes, I think we'll be much better in attack, and I'm gonna go again. I feel like this is like the second week in a row I'm going all Team AJ, but I've got to get you off of this Richards at right back thing. For the love of God, D, let that go, please.
But why?
The reason why I see him, I watch him a lot for Team USA, and he's just not good. He's not good in that role. He can play both sides. He can play either left-sided center back or right-sided center back.
Is Joe Wood and Fine Klein good in that role?
I'll take either one of them. Either one of them, I will take over trying to put Chris Richards into that.
Offer that Chris Richards doesn't offer?
The reason I don't want Chris Richards in that role is even though Richards has got pace, even though he can defend, he can't get forward. He's not going to deliver a pass for you. If you're going to do that, all right, if you want to do that, D, and you want to protect the right side, then give me a back five, whoever it is, and let's just give up the ghost and say we're going to have a back five. If that's what we're going to do because we need extra protection for Wardy, or we're going to put Klein there, fine. But I just don't do. That's not his position, and he's not that good at it. He's got pace, but it's not that we're not going to get the advantage that you think we're going to get.
Yeah, but I think so what does Joe Wood offer going forward, and the Fine Klein offer going forward so much that we can't play Chris Richards?
I just don't think you put him there. Like I don't
think Joe Wood offers much going forward.
I think he may not offer much, but he's had, like, earlier on in the season, he has gotten forward and putting balls into the box. He had what is the assist? I'm forgetting the game he had. I don't remember, but it's
But
more than
essentially,
what
can we rely on Joe
it's
Wood
more
getting
than
forward?
what Richards can do. It's
Okay,
more than
but
what
can we
Richards. It's
rely on
just
Joe Wood
so
getting
far
forward?
out of position. It's like I hate this idea so much because what we're trying to put on him is that he is a big guy. He is pacey. If we can get him in the box on set pieces, he'll offer an aerial threat. Like we're thinking he's gonna offer more than Ward, and I think you're gonna actually give some things away by putting him there. He's not gonna get
away a
forward.
lot of things to him. I don't know what you give away if we have. I don't know what Joe Wood really does going forward that you don't put. Richards is a way better defender. I think he's got pace. He's stronger. He's got the legs to defend. So I think defensively, where it's way more significant than what we lose in attack. I don't think with Joe Wood we lose a lot in attack in the first place. I think I honestly don't know what he does in attack. He gets forward for the sake of getting forward, but he's not comfortable on the ball. You can tell every time the ball goes to Joe Wood, I'm never comfortable. You need to make sure that you're open for him. As soon as he's put under pressure, he will lose the ball. He's not comfortable going forward. So I don't know what he really offers that Richards doesn't offer in the short term. I'm not saying Richards should be our right back solution. No, he's not right back. But in the short term, I mean, what's Joe Wood doing that Richards can't do? I just don't see it on the final climb. I don't. That's how I see it. But
I would so much rather if our problem is with Wardy, I would much rather play Klein and then see if we can find a way to get somebody from the academy just to train more consistently so we can find until we buy a right back. But it ain't Richards, man. He is not the guy for it. Until we're ready to play a back five, he is not the guy. You don't want it. I'm telling you, you do not want him playing right back, even in the short term. It's just not. That's just not who he is. It's not who he is, and that is
Tim. Let me say this: if I haven't said this before, you are so wise, so mature, and I really wish, and obviously very educated as well. So, I wish D would take on a lot more of your learnings in future reference. You're on the right path.
I'll die on this hill, but I don't see what Joe Wood does defensively. I think Joe Wood is a massive one. He's been targeted in so many games. Villa away, let's not forget. We lucky that we got saved like so many games this season where he just gave the ball at halfway line whilst in possession.
Well, we all agree on that.
As well.
We all agree that he's going to get.
I love Wardy to bits, and I don't want to make this a Ward slaughter session. But he's not good enough for the Premier League in 2023. It's simple as that. And he wasn't good enough at the start of the season. He was never going to be good enough this season. But
indeed, the thing is, the narrative is, right, we aren't debating that element of that argument. Nobody's debating that Ward is not good enough for Palace or where we want to be. My debate to that is, I don't understand where everyone is just picking up this, well, Chris Richards can play there. Well, Chris Richards is the answer.
But you're missing the point. I'm trying to explain to you why people are saying that. People are saying that because Richards is a better defender than Joe Wood. So if Joe Wood doesn't offer
better centre back, not a right back, bro. Two different elements.
Yeah, but then he will be able to play there. He will be able to. He's got the pace. So
that's not the issue. He can play there.
I don't want to talk about this. I know Joe Wood will have a fantastic game against Everton, and people forget. And then he's too.
Wardinho performance coming just for you. That Wardinho coming just for you, lad. Don't worry about it.
So what does Joe Wood do then that Richards can't do, AJ?
It's not more essential. This is what I'm trying to say to you, bro. I'm not saying he's better. What I am saying is he's not the answer. I think you're just swapping one set of debates for another. You're just swapping one set of debates for another one.
Okay, today he was struggling so bad that Nathaniel Klein had to come on the pitch. Nathaniel Klein. I mean, that's the alternative.
So wait a minute.
But then that's the answer to your own question. In that exact scenario, Klein is the answer.
Yeah.
But I don't think Klein is. I don't think Klein is that much better than Joe Wood. I don't know if he's even better than Joe Wood. It depends. Klein.
I don't think either of the two are enough to push us where we want to push. But I just think that we need to be looking outside of the club rather than internal options. That's me.
Yeah. Well, you can't do that whilst the window's closed. You can't do that whilst the
we don't do that. We don't do that when the window's open either. So
yeah, we've got lots of games to play, and for me, I think the change will be better. But look, Tim, just quickly before you go, Everton, talk to me. Is it a game that you'll be fine
it's a
with a
game I
point
want
because
to.
of how they've been playing recently, or do you think we need to go and win that game?
Well, there's two things on this game for me. First, I still, I guess this is just me as the crazy football fan in me. I'm still holding a grudge from Everton at Goodison Park those years ago when I had that pitch invasion. I'm still holding a grudge on that one, and so I want to see an Everton battering. Having said that, so set that aside. That's just the fan in me being irrational. Setting that aside, yes, I think it's a game that I want us to go. I want us to have a real go at it, especially if Elise is back. And maybe you're right. I mean, it's possible I'm being too hard on Eddie. And you get Elise back, you get Ebbs back, and at that point, when Eddie gets good service, he starts. I mean, he looks like the striker we wanted him to be. Again, that is entirely possible. But I want us to go and get this game. Last thing, and then I got to let you talk to Rich and JC here. But I'm surprised that I've heard nothing so far. I agree with those who said IU deserves man of the match. I think you could absolutely name him man of the match. But for me, a close second, I thought Tyreek Mitchell was outstanding. He was brilliant today. I'm not just talking about the goal. He was on it all day. He was putting pressure on every time the ball came in. He's forcing defenders back every time the ball attackers back every time the ball came in. I thought he had a brilliant game, and I am very happy for him. I thought he was absolutely outstanding. He was great. And I love the kid. I hope that he gets at least a half a look on the England squad. I'm not saying he will or he should, given the talent that the England squad has, but he is growing into his position, and we definitely need depth. And nobody argues that. I won't argue that, but he had a hell of a game. I love Tyreek Mitchell. He was great.
Yeah, he was good. Look, Tim, thank you for coming on. Always a pleasure talking to you.
You guys are the best. Take care.
All right, then. Take care, Tim. See you. Okay. If you're enjoying the show, by the way, people, make sure to smash the like button as well. I don't know how many likes we're on right now, but let's try to reach 100 likes to help the algorithm. Let's see some more comments. Mitch saying, wouldn't that be harsh on Klein? One of our own after all. Where's this saying Anderson made one of the blocks of the season? To be fair to Edward, they had 9 corners in the first half and he defended at least 4 of them. Yeah, he was very solid defensively today. But of course, you want more from a striker than to defend. But yeah. Daniel saying, question, why is Edward catching strays when he has Will Hughes playing as his 10, AJ?
Good point. I think that's an answer for Roy to deal with. Hopefully, as of next week, that shouldn't be the issue. Will Hughes is an excellent player, but he shouldn't be playing in the number 10. It's just not for him. I think he just looks like a fish out of water when he plays at the number 10 role. He's a workhorse. He works very, very hard, but Will Hughes is in the number 10 for me. And hopefully, once Eze gets himself back into that starting lineup and gets himself more involved in terms of the full game of things, that hopefully, fingers crossed, should be a thing of the past.
Yeah. Andrew saying that's why we need another Mitchell on the right, 100%. I think we'll see with time, but once we improve right back position, it will have a massive impact on the rest of the team. I think that position is significant as well as attacking as well as defensively. In the modern day especially, and I think it exposes us in a lot of areas, not just defensively, but going forward as well. Once we have a Mitchell down the right-hand side, and that could have overlaps with Elise, and then defenders have to pick out one of the two, then I think things get a bit more interesting. I'll tell you that. I don't think Dan. I don't think Rich is ready yet. Eagle Eye Football, because they haven't got a camera on. We'll see. Wait for a few more minutes. If not, then we'll wrap it up, people. Chris saying, but Hughes was poor today, I thought. What do you think about Hughes?
Wasn't great. Wasn't his best game. Same thing I said a moment ago. I think the problem is he's played out of position. But that's not me defending him. I agree actually with what Chris said there. Wasn't his best game ever. I just don't think that's the position for him. He's more controlling the central midfield and getting stuck in on tackles, winning the ball back, and then passing it on to the more creative players. That's his role. His role isn't the final third for me. And nothing has suggested to me that Hughes can play there. He's not known for getting goals. He's not even particularly known for getting a great amount of assists. I thought his set pieces today were a bit bang average, to be fair, as well. So I agree.
Gurav says, I think both Edward and Mateta can score goals if you put more crosses in the box, cross more, score more, go simple. Play down the channels for what we for that. We need Jacob Murphy. I don't think Jacob Murphy is going to be coming to Palace, I'll be honest. But yeah, look, let's bring on Eagle Eye Football. I think they were at the game. What's going on, boys?
Yes, lad. Yes. Idea. We're on our way back from Turf Moor, that's why, and the car's dark, so there's no point behind the camera.
Okay. What do you make of the game? You was there, of course.
Smash and grab. Absolute smash and grab.
Literally.
We weren't good.
Yeah, we shit-housed our way through that game. Yeah. I have no idea how we came away with 2 goals.
But we'll take it.
We made them look like Manchester City today. We really did. I think we only had 3 shots all game. I think they had 9 shots in the first half alone, 7 corners. Like, we didn't do anything. Cody Osho was just running rings around Ward all game, and we really had no answer for it. Somehow, we had 3 DMs on the pitch, but still lost midfield. Yeah. But, it is what it is. I don't care how we got the points. We got the points.
Yeah, they completely controlled the game. We couldn't even build up. And I know Eddie's catching a lot of strays, but he had no options. No support. It was tough for him. It was really hard for him. But listen, we got the 3 points. I'm happy.
Yeah, but do you think if we play like that against Everton, do you think are you
confident
that we can
not play like that against Everton?
We'll get battered by Everton.
We'll lose.
Genuinely.
If we play again like that, we'll lose.
Yeah. So what do you think needs to change then?
Everything.
I also think it's a mentality thing, because ever since Eze got injured, it's almost as if we've literally just played defensive.
So we're saying
that's going down to the coaching.
So are we saying that with Eze and potentially Elise coming back into the fold, going into those run of games, which in a lot of people have said should be a lot more winnable, are we looking a little bit more promising, do you reckon, or do we just have to see how it plays out?
We might come back.
So, we back?
What was that? Did you hear that?
Are we back?
No, we're back now.
Oh, I think
I'm sorry, AJ. We heard you say about Eze and Elise coming back. Yes, our performances will improve, but I don't even really want to be rushing Elise back too tough. Yes, getting back in the fold, but maybe easing back in. I know we're struggling in attack, but if we have him get another hamstring injury, we're finished.
Especially with Jez getting a hamstring as well.
Yeah, because Jez is out for ages, apparently.
Yeah, he's picked up an injury and it's not looking good. That's what Roy said after the game as well. But then again, when you look at our fixtures, surely these are the type of games that you want Elise to play because you want to win and beat the likes of Everton, Luton, Bournemouth, West Ham. These type of teams to create that gap and try to push up the table.
Of course, we want to win, but I don't see the point in trying to risk him for one game that potentially, after seeing what we've done today, we could win it without him. So in my opinion, what's the point in trying to rush him back for a game that we could potentially handle without him? Because as Rich said, if he gets another hamstring and he's out for the whole season, and we really can't afford that. So for these games, which are, I guess, potentially games that we could get points from, granted, we want the best team possible, but I think we also need to be smart and try and manage our players and not run them into the ground like we always do. I think we actually need to rotate the squad properly.
I think give him 30 minutes next week.
Basically, do what you're doing with França.
And then start him after the international break against Luton.
Yeah, exactly. Bring him on here and there. Maybe run him in the cup. And then when he's good, throw him in straight away.
I
can't start until at least... He cannot start until at least after the international break, at least.
But then that brings me on to my next question, actually. Obviously, you guys were at the game today, and obviously you would have been with the fans and mixing it up. What did you guys make of the fact that France didn't get used at all? Was that a thing at all, or was that even mentioned? Like what's the deal with that?
I won't lie to you, this was not a France game. In my personal opinion. We even when Ebbs came on, he didn't see the ball until he had the assist. Like, we were so bad, you know. So I think he would have just been running around like a headless chicken in that game today.
Yeah, I think the idea to keep Schlupp on the pitch was probably the right call, purely because we had a very specific shape defensively.
Yeah.
And I think bringing a 19-year-old França is just not the right thing, because even though Schlupp didn't have a very good game, granted, he's still much more physical than França. He's got much more experience in the league.
Yeah.
And I feel like he would have done a much better job. I feel like with França, potentially, they could have found him as a weak spot defensively. And bear in mind, Schlupp was all over the pitch today, so he sort of played on the right sometimes, on the left sometimes. If you played França, you would have left Mitchell exposed, and potentially, like at the end of the game, Trezor came on, so he would have went straight past França and then one-on-one with Mitchell. So I think leaving Schlupp on, and this is not a França game at all, was pretty the right call. And I think probably Roy going 5 at the back at the end was also the right call as well, because we saw out that game very professionally, in my opinion.
And I was very impressed with him taking Ward off when he did as well.
Right.
Because Ward was struggling.
Yeah,
really
struggling massively from the first minute. He was literally a target, and times where Anderson had to step up. I think it was in the first half. Made a very good block when they did get behind from Joe Ward's side, and he was struggling massively. So looking ahead to the Everton game, do you think Klein should get more of an opportunity, or Richards, depending on how you view it?
I tell you what I would do, because we heard what you was talking about with Tim. I know 100% that Anderson plays right back for Denmark. So why not play Richards at centre back and Anderson at right back? Granted, he's probably much better as a centre back, but why not play him at a role where he's comfortable? And we actually know that Richards is good at centre back, because we know that Richards is dreadful at right back. So why would we play him there when Anderson can do the job?
Do you think Roy wouldn't
do a job in centre back? That's what I would do.
Do you think Roy could hold? I mean, I hear it, because Anderson at right back, as you said, he has played there for the national side. But with Anderson and Gahey, the partnership that they have in the middle, don't you think that could be a risk of separating them two? And
I don't think he
won't do it.
He won't do it. He won't change it. But I wouldn't start Klein against Everton just because of their sheer physicality as well. You know, they're all like 6 foot whatever. They'll literally just target him. At least in that sense, Wardy can do a bit airily. And that's what we're going to need against an Everton side who are just physical.
Yeah. It's gonna be an easy game as well. It's not gonna be an easy game. But look, boys, safe travel on your way back.
Yeah, travel back safe, boys.
Yeah.
Guys, smash up the like buttons, man.
Yeah, hope catch up again soon.
Big up.
All right, then, take care.
Yeah.
See you later. Okay, let's bring on Dan. I think Dan got cut off, so we'll bring on Dan, and then we'll afterwards wrap it up. Dan, sorry, you got cut off. I think it's a connection that's jumping a bit earlier on.
Yeah, no. It was my phone, innit? My phone was ringing. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, what was I saying anyway? We just got to get behind. We just got to get behind the lads now. You know, this is easy overrun of fixtures. I hear what people are saying, but at the end of the day, I don't see us dropping many points come them sort of games anyway.
Yeah, just quickly, Dan, we're going to wrap up now, but just looking at the Everton game, do you see us, you said you don't see us dropping many points, so is that a game that, for you, we have to win?
We don't have to win it, but we will win it. But I can't see us losing against Everton. Everton are poor. Even though they're going on some sort of run now or whatever, you know, Everton are poor. These are the teams that we need to look at, and we need to go right. 3 points. We have to get it from them. Yeah, even if we got Ward, and even if we got Ward at the back, Ward gets a hard time. You know, he does. He gets a hard time. But at the end of the day, we're dealt with this hand that we've been dealt with. We just got to play it. You know, Richards isn't a right back. Come on, let's have it right. Richards isn't a right back. Well, Ward at right back's a million miles better than Richards in my eyes, anyway. But you know, Ward's all right. Ward's fine. I haven't got no problem with Joe Ward at all. All right, they aim at that side, but Jordan Ayew Jordan Ayew, mate, he's a man possessed at the moment. He's fantastic. He comes back, he'll do the defending as well. So my issue will be when Elise is fit. Elise needs to track back what Jordan Ayew does. And Elise is not known for tracking back, but he needs to be in that collective now and say, look, right, I've got to right back here. I've got to do this. I've got to do that. I've got to do this. I've got to do that. And hopefully, fingers crossed. I'm not going to eat my words. I'm hoping I'm not, but I can see us getting a nice win at home, comfortable 3-4-0 at home against Everton. I don't see them posing much of a threat.
Yeah. Look, we're gonna end with that positivity, Dan. Look, thank you for coming on. Really appreciate it.
Nice one, lads. Enjoy your firework.
Take it easy.
That's it for tonight. Palace win 2-0, clean sheet. Still doing very good defensively in terms of the clean sheet stats as well. Hopefully, Eze will be starting against Everton. Hopefully, he should be fit enough to start. Elise will be coming back. These are the type of games we have to win. We got the job done today. On to the next one. Get the job done now against Everton. Thanks to AJ and every single one of you who's been calling throughout the show. Really appreciate it all. If you haven't already done so, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. We're very, very, very close to 4,000 subscribers. We need all your help. A like, a comment down below, even after the show ends. All of that could help as well. So leave down your thoughts if we haven't been able to answer them, because there's been a lot of comments after the video ends as well. Thanks to every single one of you. And until next time, up the Palace.